welcome to Caroline's Kitchen, delicious electric alkaline recipes. Today we will be preparing one of my southern favorites, being that I'm a southern homegrown girl. We will be featuring a recipe that is nostalgic of the fried green tomatoes that we all grew up on in the South. But being that this will be an electric alkaline recipe, we will not be using the traditional green tomatoes. Rather, we will be using the Tatume squash. And this is what it looks like. This is the Tatume squash. For this recipe, we will be using aquafaba. You can either use habanero pepper or cayenne pepper, the Tatume squash, basil, and then here we have cayenne pepper, onion powder, and sea salt. And you will need additional cayenne pepper and sea salt. And to fry them, you would need sesame oil. For the flour, I did a mixture of spelt flour and kamut. So let's get started. The first thing that we would do is to So the first thing we'll do is to cut the squash. And how you will begin is to cut the end off. We'll discard that, and then you'll cut the other tip off, the top tip off, and we'll discard that also. And then you will begin to thinly slice them. We're gonna do slices about that thick, and they could be a little thinner. It's about that size. Okay, so I've already sliced some here. So now we will sprinkle sea salt on to each Tatume squash. And also, just to let you know that this recipe, you can use any variety of squash. You can do the yellow squash, you can do the green zucchini squash, and there is another variety of Mexican squash, which is also this color, but it's a little longer. It's not shaped like the tomato. It's more like the green zucchini, but it's this gray green color. So you will season your Tatume squash to your taste. I basically just do a little salt, sea salt, and just a light sprinkle of cayenne. You don't want to get too carried away with that, because you are going to have the fresh pepper, so you don't want to overdo it. You just want just a little bite of it, just to give it a peppery flavor. So since I put too much on that one, I'm just going to spread it on the other ones, because I want to be certain not to over season with the peppers. Okay, so I only do pepper on one side. We'll flip them and put just a little bit more salt on the other side. I won't do pepper on the other side. You just want to lightly salt them. You don't want to overwhelming amount. Okay. And the other seasonings that we have here, which are the cayenne, the sea salt, and the onion powder, we'll use those to season up our flour because we want everything to be seasoned. Okay. We're gonna put that in there and give it a little shake around to evenly distribute everything. Okay. So now you would submerge, you would put each of the Tatume squash into the flour mixture. Okay, and once you get them all in, then you would give the bag a shake. Mix it up really well to evenly coat each piece. Okay? Okay. Then we would dip, make sure they're all evenly coated there. Okay, then you would dip each one into your aquafaba. And you would lay them on your cutting board. You wouldn't want to submerge them directly into the grease because the aquafaba is going to take place of your egg. But as you know, aquafaba is still a water base, so you don't want to mix the water and the oil together when you're cooking because you could cause yourself some injury. The grease will begin popping on you, so you want to kind of let them rest on the cutting board. And see, both sides are going to be coated, and then you dip them in and just lay them on your cutting board. So I'll be back when I finish coating all of them. I won't make you all wait through that process. So now we're back and we have coated all of the Tatume squash in the flour mixture, which was spelt Cookbook flour with onion powder, salt, and cayenne. So then we dipped them. After we coated them, we dipped them in the aquafaba. The next process would be to take your bay leaf, dip it into your aquafaba, and then you would press it onto the Tatume squash, and then you would take your piece of either habanero or cayenne, fresh cayenne pepper. You'll dip that in the aquafaba and press it firmly onto the Tatume squash that has been battered and dipped into the aquafaba. So we'll finish these up and just dip it in the aquafaba and press it firmly. And we're getting ready to get these fried up, so we're gonna go over to the stove now. Okay, I'm gonna finish these up and I'll meet you all at the stove. Okay, y'all, come on over here and get in here with me at the stove. We're done coating all of the Tatume squash with the habanero peppers and the basil leaves. Now you can use whichever fresh seasoning you prefer. I prefer basil. You can use oregano or tarragon or whatever it is you prefer. And you can use the pepper variety that you prefer also. And we have the skillet heating, so we're just gonna lightly coat it just the bottom of the pan with a little sesame oil. And we're going to let that heat a little bit. Get it even all around there. It doesn't take long for sesame oil to heat up. So then you're just going to lay them in there. Get your good little sizzle going there. And like I told you, that aquafaba will give you a little bite, so that's why it's good to let them rest before you put them in the oil. And we're going to turn this down a little bit. And you're going to let them cook for just a few minutes on each side. So I always put the side that does not have the basil and the peppers down first. And once you get a little brown on one side, then you just take and flip them over. Cook on the other side as well. And you're gonna let those brown on both sides. I'm taking them out of the skillet, and we've plated it. And this is our finished product. These are the fried green tomatoes and tatumes, and they turned out beautifully. The colors are very beautifully. This is something that you could serve at a as an appetizer, or you could serve it alongside your greens or what have you. I made a cherry sauce, a cherry sweet and sour sauce, which I'll post a video for later. But you just dip that in there. Let's see. It is very delicious. And that pepper gives it just the right amount of bite. See you next time. Okay, we've taken them out of the skillet, and we've plated it. And this is our finished product. These are the fried green tomatoes and tatumes, and they turned out beautifully.